Hey there guys, welcome to this video in Landlord Go. In the previous episode, I don't really remember what we did, so go ahead and check it out. But in this episode, there's an interesting trend of 20% discount on military bases. Now there are 2 military bases in Mumbai that I have found. If there are more, I don't know. If you know any more, please comment below. But for now, we have 2 military bases. Both of those are extremely expensive, so we're only going to be able to buy one of those. And in our account, we have 622 million. Also, there are a lot of properties that we can sell. Our total valuation right now is 24.7 billion, and in the leaderboard we stand at, in the country, at 77, and in the world at 8,300. So we've been falling in the world because there are other players more active than we are. I'm not being that much active on this game right now because of some other stuff that's going on in life, but it doesn't matter. And we have 197 coins, so if we go into our accountant, which is one of the most important things to upgrade because it reduces the time it takes to finish a property's paperwork, but it takes 350 coins, so we don't have that much. And the other important thing is the what is it? It's a speculator. So the speculator is going to increase our property value by 2%. So right now it's at 24%. What's going to happen is the speculator only increases the value of your entire portfolio so that you rank higher in the leaderboard. It doesn't actually impact the property itself, I guess. I'm not so sure. If you know what it does, please comment below. But as much as I understand this concept, it's gonna update our value plus 24% in the leaderboard, but it's not going to affect the actual value of the property. So if we go into our portfolio, it's at 24.7 billion, but it's actually 24.7 billion minus the 24%. So I mean, it's gonna be the other way around, some number plus 24%, but you get the gist of it. So that's the basic thing about it. Now let's go back into our map, and we can see that there is Indian Navy base at this location. It's near the fort area, and we also know that there's, if you come over here in this location, there's INS Kunjali. So we know 2 properties of the military base category in India. Now, as much as I can recall, INS Kunjali was a 5-star property before the game updated itself. So I don't know if it's a 5-star property now, but I haven't seen it. So let's not talk about that for now. But for now, we have this property on our radar. Let me just cancel this, which is the Indian Navy base. If you go in there, this property is worth 316 billion. We only have a total portfolio of 24 billion. So we don't really have the money to buy the entire property. We would be lucky to buy a few shares. For now, we can only buy 2 shares because we only have 622.4 million. The 2 shares are worth 506 million. But there's this thing that we have to decide now, whether to sell everything that we have to buy that one property, or we can buy 2 different properties to reduce the paperwork time. So we buy this Indian Navy base here and the INS Kunjali here. So we split our money, 24 billion into 2, which is going to be 12 billion and 12 billion. Ultimately, we're going to buy that thing. We're not going to let this trend go away. It's 20%. I know it's not much. It's not 40-50%, but it's a significant trend in updating our portfolio, upgrading our portfolio. The reason is, this particular trade is not going to make us much money. Okay, so it's going to give us, like, if we wait long enough after the property is finished, it's going to give us 10-15% or even 5%. I don't know what it's going to give, but that's what it's going to give us after flipping it to the bank later on. But the thing is, in our portfolio, if you go here, we have hospitals, which is a repetitive trend in this game, and these hospitals are worth a lot. Sigma is 3.8 billion, Santeknath is 3.1 billion, and there are other outstanding shares in the market for these hospitals right now. So for 3 or 4 billion is the valuation of these hospitals. Apart from that, there are a few other trends like boat ferries. Then there is the art gallery trend and the jewelry store trend. These kinds of trend repeat themselves a lot, especially the hospital ones, because the other ones, you know, the art gallery and the jewelry stores, those aren't much valued trends because the values of the properties that are coming in aren't much. But for the hospitals, the value is a lot. And what's happening is, because we already own these hospitals, we can't really sell other properties and generate a lot of money to buy the hospital again, because there's only 200-300 shares available in the market. So even if we potentially have properties to flip, we can't flip those because there's not enough shares on the market. But if we sell them right now and go for the Indian Navy base or INS Kunjali, what's going to happen is we won't have the hospital. So next time the trend pops up, we can flip INS Kunjali and then buy hospitals again. And these hospital trends are at least 20% or 30% discount. I don't remember how much it is, but 20 to 30% is what it should be. Whatever it is, it's going to give us some profit, right? So we would have the opportunity to buy these hospitals again because we are selling those right now. For now, we can only buy 200-300 leftover shares or additional shares that pop up on the market, but we can't really buy the entire property now. So that we can't really flip other properties that we have been holding to buy other properties. So this is a really great opportunity to flip properties. And as much as, if this was some other trend, I wouldn't be talking so much because these properties would be picked up by other players. But these properties, the INS Kunjali and the Indian Navy base, these are expensive properties. There aren't many players in Mumbai that are buying this expensive properties. So, that's a good thing. We can talk a lot and buy those properties in time. But before we actually make our move, let me confirm if INS Kunjali is still on the market, because there's been property changes after the update. So I don't know if the database has changed a lot, but there has been a few property changes. The stars of properties have changed, the values of properties have changed, some locations have changed, as much as I can talk from experience. I don't know if I'm mistaken, but that's what I have experienced. So let's first go ahead and find INS Kunjali. I think it was somewhere here. So let me just watch some ads and I'll be back. Okay, so we are in this area and we were right. The INS Kunjali property is still alive in this area. It's a 570 billion property with one shareholder holding one coin. So he holds 570 million worth of that property, the guy named Phantom. So there are two properties, and it's a wise idea to always distribute your total money into two properties, because that's going to take less time to finish than if one property was worth 24 billion. It's going to take a lot of time. But if there are two properties worth 12 billion each, it's going to take much less time to finish those properties. Now, before we go ahead and sell our portfolio, we also have to remember that there are a few properties like Venkatesh Dry Cleaners, Hotel Abhiruchi, and some of the properties that we have upgraded with coins. We're not going to flip those. So let's first go ahead and flip the most expensive ones. Let's sort this out. It's already sorted from value high to low. So let's go ahead and sell this. This is a big deal for us. We've been holding these properties since forever. So this property has generated us a lot of money already. So this 20% reduction is nothing for us. But let's go ahead and sell this. Now, one last time, we're going to try if the innovator works or not. Currently, the innovator is at 16%. And in previous updates of the game, the innovator used to do a 16% additional valuation to the total amount that the bank is giving me. So if you don't know what this concept is, you should watch a previous video where I've explained this in detail. But for now, what we're going to do is 3 billion plus the 622 million that we own in our bank is going to give us 622 plus 78. So that's basically 700 million plus 3 billion. So that's going to be 3.7 billion plus 16% of 3 billion, which is going to be 3 into 16 is 48, so 480 million. So after we sell this property, if 480 plus 3.7 billion is what? 4.1 billion. So if after selling this property, our bank account is going to be 4.1 billion, it means that innovator is working. Otherwise, it's not working. If it's 3.7 billion, innovator is not working. If it's 4.1 billion, innovator is working. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's going to take some time to add up that money in our account. I don't know why this happens, but this is something that's been happening in this game forever. But it went to 3.9. It didn't go to 4.1, so the innovator is not working. I don't know why it went to 3.9. Our calculation might have been wrong somewhere, but whatever. Let's sell this. Let's sell this one. This is making me too nervous because I don't want the trend to go away, in time. There's a lot of time. I know there's 28 minutes, but this is just a game. It could be other problems that could pop up, like network issues, but, We're finally getting rid of all the hospitals so we can rebuy them. We're finally making use of the flip concept for which we bought the hospitals in the first place. There wasn't a property that was this expensive before that popped up in the trends. It's been a long time since I have seen any of these expensive properties pop up in the trend. You might have seen those because you may be much more active than I am, but for me, I haven't seen those. We are at 15 billion. I'm going to show you some, demotivating stuff in a minute. We also bought these ferries in an episode. I think it was the previous episode, I don't remember, for flipping as well. We found a lot of ferries and ultimately we ran out of slots and paperwork slots. Not enough shares to sell. What the hell does that mean? Okay, yeah, we sold that property. So, it takes some time to get that property off of our portfolio as well. So Ferry Wharf, it will take a second before it pops off. Yeah, it just popped off. There's these time glitches in this game. I don't know if it's coded properly or whatever, but it's not like fluid, The game is not that fluid. It lacks a lot. There's a few animation glitches you just saw right now. There's a few glitches in the game, but never mind. It's a small game, so it's good to play anyway. So our portfolio is going to go down to 2 properties plus those few little properties that we own that we had upgraded with coins. So only about 5-6 properties. That's all that's going to stay in our portfolio. We had 43 properties in our portfolio before selling these properties that we're doing right now. Okay, Shani Mandir, again, we were holding this because it's going to cost only 4 coins to upgrade, but we can always buy this later. It's a 78 million property. We're not going to keep this. We also have to understand that both of the properties, the INS Konjali and the Indian Navy base, both of the properties need a minimum of 300 million for the share, one single share, right? 300 or 250 million, whatever it was, but one single share costs that much. So, we could be selling in excess of at least 200 or 250 million if we don't go ahead and look at the thing before selling all of our properties. But that's okay, I guess. Excess of 300 to 50 million is not a big deal because there could be another potential property that could pop up on the market that is really good after this trend ends. It's taking a lot of time to sell these properties. I just hope that the time doesn't run out and the trend doesn't disappear, because then we'll be sitting with 17 billion cash and nothing to buy with it. So that's going to be sad. But I think that's not going to happen. There's so many, more is one of the properties that we upgraded with coins. So let's keep it away. This is one of the properties that I wish to upgrade with the coins, but we haven't done it, so we're gonna sell this property. And that was the Babulal Bichar Zaveri is a property in our hometown. It's a jewelry store, and the jewelry store trend pops up a lot, so that's not an issue. Now we're selling 25-30 million properties. It's gonna take a lot of time. We're still at 13 properties in our portfolio. This is frustrating, but we have to do it. This is only adding a little bit to the entire game. But what's gonna happen is we're doing this for a better cause, to upgrade our portfolio to a new level. 20% plus the 24 million that we had, 24 billion, sorry, in our portfolio that we had, plus the 20% is a lot, which is what is the 20 by 4.8 billion, so it's going to get to 28.4 billion. with this purchase. Okay, so we upgraded that one. You can see that we are stuck at 17.6 billion. We're not gonna get much higher than this, I guess. Yeah, we're not gonna get anywhere near 18 billion either. So we're stuck with that. Now let's see this. We upgraded with the coins, 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 and coins. So we're not gonna sell these properties anyway. These are in total worth about 100 and what 50, 130, 150 million. So that's okay, not a big deal. Now I told you, remember, I told you that the 24% of the landlord, sorry, not the landlord, what's called speculator, is what was acting on the actual valuation of our property was 17.6 billion only, or maybe it was 17.6 billion plus 20%, because that's the reduction that the bank gives us. So that's all that there is. Let's first go ahead and check our leaderboard. This is the depressing thing that I'm going to show you. We are ranked at 463 in the country. We dropped like so many ranks, and in the world, if that is updated, 53,700. So we jumped from 8.3k to 53.7k, and in the server at 41. So, but that's okay. That's just our current whatever. But let's just go ahead. Now we have to split this in half, 17.6 billion. So we'll maybe, let's see how we can split this in half. Now one of these shares of these property is worth, let's buy 35 shares of this, 8.8 billion. I think, I don't remember how much the other property was worth. I think it was 250 million. What was it? As much as I recall, it was 622 million what we had in our account, and it only bought us 2 shares for 530 or something like that. So it was about 260 to 270 million was the price of 1 share of that property. Now if we buy this one right now, let me cancel this thing. Let me just go here. So we have to buy enough shares of this property so that we can split the money in half, and also ensure that we are not wasting money, because the other property is 270 million. So let's calculate something first. What is this? This is gonna give us, wait a second, 8.6. okay, so let's go 35 shares. Nah, minus, so 30, no, 35, bro, 35. So 8.8 billion is what's gonna cost us. 17.6 billion is what we own. 17.6 minus 8.8 is 8.8 billion. Now divide that by 270 million. So let me just 8.8 divided by 27. That's 32.59. So we can't really buy 1 full share of that. So what we'll do instead is just go for 36 shares of this. And let's forget the calculation. Let's just go ahead and buy this, 36 shares of this, and the remaining we're gonna buy for that property. So let's go ahead and buy this. 9.1 billion, and it's gonna take how much time? Okay, so it's 11.4 billion, and it's gonna take about 1 day, 16 hours. So the okay, you see this? So the time for this property is so low compared to what it used to be. I don't know what's improved in the game, but this is the right step, developers. If you're a developer, or if you know some developer, send them this video. This is the right step for the game. Let's go ahead here. Let me watch an ad and I'll be back. Okay, so we are back, and we have the Indian Navy base in this area. And with the money that we have, we can buy 8.355. That's okay, not a big deal. 33 shares for 8.355 billion. We'll have an excess of 150 million left. That's okay, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and buy this property as well. And we have 130 million left. Let's claim 2x of this. So I watch an ad. So we just claimed 30 coins. Now let's go in our portfolio, and you can see there are 2 properties, 11.4 and 10.4 billion each. Gonna take about the same time, 1 day, 17 hours finish. That's okay, totally acceptable. it's really good that the developers have gone in this way. And our properties are now worth 27.2 billion. So we've jumped in the leaderboard ranking again. I hope this is refreshed. Let's just check out. Yes, we are at 70 in the world. In India, sorry. We were at 77, so we are at 70 now. Let me just see if it's really 70. Yeah, it's really 70. And in the world, we went to 53k and now we are at 7.9k. So that's good. In the server, we're at 13. I don't know how much we went down, but we're at 13 now. So we've bumped the valuation of our portfolio by 3 billion with just 2 of these properties. That's the power of flipping in this game. That's really, really insane. And if trends like this pop up every now and then, you can climb the leaderboard really quickly. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time in a new video.